My curious and playful Gemini friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. Gemini, as this week unfolds, there's a hum in the air that only you can feel. It's the sensation of needing to be everywhere at once, like a low-pressure system pressing against your chest. You might find yourself craving the warmth of genuine connection and the clarity of your own intentions, all while a subtle anxiety lingers beneath the surface. There's a longing for lightness, for laughter that feels unforced, but something keeps you scanning the horizon for the first sign of a storm. Maybe it's the way others look to you for energy and answers, or maybe it's that internal push to keep shining even when you're not sure if you're ready. Underneath, there's a question. If you step fully into your radiance, will it be enough, or will you lose something in the brightness? This tension rides quietly with you, never quite voiced but shaping every choice. There is a warmth at your core this week, Gemini, a gentle blaze that wants to be seen. The sun rises within you not as a boast, but as a simple truth. You might notice how your presence draws people in, how laughter ripples around you even when you're silent. There's a sense that your energy is carrying the room or maybe the day, and it's both a comfort and a subtle burden. You may feel a surge of hope, a sense that things are turning, but beneath that hope is a tender vulnerability. Sometimes the light you bring feels fragile, easily snuffed out by a careless word or a moment of self-doubt. Still, you keep showing up, letting your warmth spill out in small ways. A smile, a thoughtful question, the willingness to see the best in someone else. Emotions run close to the surface. Joy isn't just a feeling, it's a posture you hold even when you're tired. Yet there's a flicker of fear that if you stop shining, the room will go cold. So you keep the light on, even if your arms grow weary. Maybe you wonder if you'll ever be able to simply rest in the light you've created, or if you'll always need to keep feeding it. But underneath all of this is a clear, steady pulse, a belief, however quiet, that your presence matters, that your light is real, that even if no one notices, you notice, and that's enough to keep you steady for now. As you move through these days with your heart open, the way you hold your light naturally shapes your path. The warmth you offer invites new situations, new demands, and sometimes new tests. The more people gather near you, the more you sense the quiet expectation for you to stay strong, to keep smiling, to never falter. This isn't just about outside demands, it's the internal pressure to live up to your own idea of what it means to be the bright one. The inner state you've cultivated, that balance of vulnerability and hope, becomes the very magnet that draws experiences toward you. And so, the path ahead isn't random. It's a direct response to the energy you bring, the tension you feel, and the quiet resolve you show. The journey asks you to keep moving, even when the weight grows heavier. The week brings the card strength into sharp relief for you, Gemini. There is friction, sometimes subtle, sometimes sharp, between what others need from you and what you can genuinely offer. You may encounter moments where patience is tested, where your ability to stay gentle in the face of frustration is called into question. The pressure isn't always loud, sometimes it's a steady drip, an email that won't answer itself, a friend who needs your ear, a project that asks for more than you plan to give. At times you might feel the impulse to control it all, to push through by sheer will. But the real force at play here is quieter. It's the way you find your center when everything threatens to spin out. There could be days when your energy wanes, when the brightness you brought at the start feels harder to access. You might notice yourself becoming reactive, wanting to snap or withdraw. Yet each small moment of choosing to pause, to breathe, to respond from your core rather than from habit becomes a quiet act of strength. This isn't about heroic effort or grand gestures. It's about the honest work of staying with yourself, even as the world tugs at your sleeves. The momentum of this week is built from these small, repeated acts of inner steadiness. The path is rarely smooth, but your ability to meet its bumps with patience and humility shapes how the days unfold. Yet strength alone isn't the destination. The pressures of the week, the moments of friction, all point toward something larger, the possibility of growth that arises only when you are fully present. Your potential doesn't emerge from coasting along or simply enduring. It asks for your conscious engagement, your willingness to meet each moment on its own terms. The possibility of something deeper opening up depends on how tenderly you meet your own experience, especially when the outside world feels demanding or unpredictable. When you let yourself be changed by the week's events, rather than just surviving them, new ways of being slowly come into view. At the far edge of this journey, the Hierophant stands as your invitation. This isn't about rigid tradition or empty expectations, but about discovering the quiet structure that supports real transformation. When you bring awareness to the push and pull in your week, you may notice a longing for meaning, for a sense that your efforts belong to something bigger. Growth here doesn't look like a dramatic breakthrough. It comes in the gentle recognition that you are already part of a larger story, one shaped by the choices you make and the values you return to. There's an invitation to see your daily actions, especially the smallest ones, as part of a pattern that reaches beyond this week. Perhaps you find yourself reaching out to someone you trust, or you notice how the rituals you keep, your morning coffee, the way you greet the day, hold you steady. In these moments you glimpse the deeper roots of your own wisdom. The Hierophant suggests that your growth this week is less about new knowledge and more about living what you already know, gently but deliberately. It's the kind of wisdom that comes from showing up day after day with honesty and care. As the days wind down, the threads of your week begin to weave together. The warmth and hope you carried at the start, the steady acts of patience under pressure, and the quiet search for meaning all belong to the same story. Each moment of light you offered wasn't lost, even when it felt like no one saw. The strength you drew from within became a soft shield, allowing you to meet the world's demands without losing yourself. And through it all you discovered, perhaps quietly, perhaps unexpectedly, that you are already held by something greater than yourself. There's no need to force a resolution or to arrive at some perfect end. Instead, you can rest in the gentle truth that your presence, warm, steady, imperfect, is enough. You have walked through this week with courage and care, and that is its own kind of peace. The story doesn't end with answers, but with the reassurance that you are exactly where you need to be, present, awake, and quietly growing. Actionable insights for Gemini this week. Let yourself notice when you feel drawn to help, and pause for a moment before you say yes. Try greeting the day with one small, familiar ritual that brings you comfort. If you feel tension, see what it's like to hold it gently without needing to fix it right away. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I am present with what I feel now. Even in uncertainty, I find my footing. My smallest actions carry quiet meaning. I can trust the light I bring. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.